You probably know someone like this. Years of classes, grammar exercises, exams passed, B1, B2. They can read the language, understand the podcast, write a correct sentence, and then someone speaks to them. They freeze. And you probably know someone like this too. Never opened a grammar book, no formal training, but they lived it, work in it. And now they speak fluently. When you ask them how, they shrug. I just talk to people. How does that happen? How do you get to B2 and still freeze in a real conversation? How does someone with no formal training speak better than someone who spent years studying? Today, I want to give you a clear answer to that question, not an obvious one, a precise one. Because once you see it, the way you think about your learning changes completely. Let's get into the video. Before I answer that question, I want to say something clearly. Because most people, when they hear this paradox, jump to a wrong conclusion. They think, formal study doesn't work, just go speak to people, forget the grammar books. That's not what I'm saying. The person with B2 level, they built something real. Solid comprehension, grammatical precision, the ability to read, to understand, to decode the language at a high level. There are not small things. These two are part of the language. These are the foundation that the fluent person often doesn't have. Ask that fluent person to read a complex text, to explain the grammar rule, to understand the language structurally, and the gaps appear. Both people built something valuable, and both people are missing something. So what is each one actually building? When you study formally, grammar, vocabulary, structured input, you are training your brain to recognize the language, to decode it, to understand it when it arrives. This is a real cognitive skill, but recognition and production are not the same system. When you produce language, when you speak, when you write, when you try to construct a sentence under pressure, your brain is doing something completely different. It's not decoding, it's retrieving, searching for the right words, the right structure, assembling it in real time with someone waiting for your answer. These are two different cognitive muscles, and you cannot build one by training the other. This is why the B2 learner freezes. Not because they don't know the language, because they have spent years training one muscle and almost no time training the other. So what is retrieval exactly? Let me show you the difference. You are listening to a podcast in your target language. A word comes up. You know it immediately. You don't even have to think. It just lands. That feeling, that instant recognition feels like fluency. It feels like progress. But here's what's actually happening in your brain. Recognition is passive. The word arrives. Your brain matches it to something it already knows and moves on. You didn't have to find anything. You didn't have to search. The word came to you. Now imagine someone asks you a question in that language and you need that same word right now in your answer. Suddenly, it's not there. Not because you don't know it, because knowing a word passively and being able to retrieve it under pressure are two completely different things. Your brain started, but never practiced finding it. This is what researchers call the recognition-retrieval gap, and it explains everything. It explains why you can understand the show but freeze in a conversation, why you can read an article but can't write a paragraph, why your comprehension keeps growing and your speaking stays stuck. You have been training recognition almost exclusively, and your brain has gotten very good at it. But fluency is not recognition. Fluency is retrieval, fast, automatic, under pressure. Now, the person who just talked to people, they weren't doing something magical, they weren't more talented, they were just constantly being forced to retrieve. Every conversation, every interaction, every moment where someone was waiting for an answer, their brain had no tries. Find a word, construct a sentence, now. They were doing retrieval practice every single day without knowing that's what it was called. That's the whole secret. Not immersion, not the country, not the environment. The retrieval, the constant, unavoidable, uncomfortable act of producing language under pressure. And here's something worth saying, because I know what some of you are thinking, but I know people who lived abroad for years and they still can't speak the language. Yes, that's exactly the point. Because immersion alone doesn't do it either. You can live in a country for 5 years and still be passive, still consuming, still recognizing without retrieving. If every difficult conversation is avoided, if every interaction stays surface level, if the language never truly puts you under pressure, the environment is immersive but the practice isn't. The country doesn't teach you the language, the retrieval does. Immersion just makes retrieval harder to avoid. That's the only reason it works. And this means something important for you. You don't need to move countries to replicate that. You don't need perfect immersion conditions. You need to understand what immersion was actually doing and start doing it deliberately. So what do you do this practically? How do you build both muscles, the recognition and the retrieval, inside real life without perfect conditions? 3 shifts, concrete, specific, small enough to start tomorrow. The first one is the simplest. Use what you study the same day. Most learners have a gap between studying something and using it. You learn 10 new words on Monday, you add them to a flashcard deck. Maybe you review them on Thursday, maybe. But Thursday, they are already fading. The brain doesn't hold what it doesn't use. And use doesn't mean reviewing the flashcard. It means producing, speaking a sentence with that word, writing something that requires it, finding a moment where you actually need to retrieve it. The same day you learn something, use it. One sentence, one voice memo to yourself, one message to a language partner. It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to happen. That single shift, same day use, starts closing the gap between what you know and what you can produce. The second shift, close the loop after every input session. You finish a podcast episode, a lesson, a chapter of a textbook. What do you do next? Most learners move on, or they review their notes, or they re-listen to the difficult part. All of that is still recognition, still passive. Try this instead. Close everything, no notes, no replay, and spend 5 minutes reconstructing what you just consumed out loud or in writing. What do you understand? What words do you remember? What would you say if someone asked you about it right now? You will immediately feel the difference between what you recognize and what you can actually retrieve. That gap, that uncomfortable feeling of reaching for something and not quite finding it, is your brain building the retrieval pathway. 5 minutes after every session. The third shift is the deepest one. Design your input to force output. Most learners treat input and output as separate activities. You study on Monday, you practice speaking on Wednesday, different session, different day, different mental state. The problem is the gap between them. What you studied on Monday is already coded by Wednesday. Instead, plan them as a pair. Choose a podcast episode you will listen to and then immediately discuss. Learn a grammar structure you will use in a conversation the same evening. Read an article on the topic you know you will need to talk about. Input and output are 2 separate phases of language learning. They are 2 halves of one loop. And when you plan them together, when the output is already waiting for the input before you begin, your brain listens differently. It stops passively receiving and starts actively preparing to produce. That shift in how you plan changes what happens inside every single session. 3 shifts, not a new method, not a new schedule, just a different understanding of what your brain needs and the practice designed around that. The B2 person who freezes and the fluent person who never opened a grammar book, they both have half the picture. What you now have the full one. Use both, build both, design your practice around both. Everything I explained today didn't come from theory alone. It came from watching real adult learners, motivated, intelligent people hit the same wall over and over and asking why. The answer was always in the mind, in the beliefs running underneath the practice, in the gap between what the brain needs and what most learners actually give it. That's the foundation of the language mind, my first learning ecosystem. Neuroscience, real learner experience, and the complete system designed to rewire how you think about language learning first and build your practice on top of that foundation. Because when the mind is right, the system works. And when the system works, fluency stops being something you chase and starts being something you build. The founding member waitlist is open, link in the description. And before you go, which one are you? The person who understands but freezes, or the person who speaks but fills the gap? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. See you in the next video. Bye.